Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. The big news of today is China's second bridge at the Pangong Tso Lake. As you know, this strategic lake, which is divided between India and China, is the point where the LAC exists. And because China wants to provide a much better access to its troops near the flashpoint where the Galwan clashes took place, China has been building this bridge, and this has been in the news for quite a few months now. This is time for us to discuss the significance of this bridge, where is it located exactly, and why exactly is China building this. Now, as you can see from the satellite imagery here, this is what China has been doing. That is building a bridge to join the two coasts of the Pangong Tso Lake. It was in Jan 2022 that this came to light through the satellite imagery that was discovered by multiple media houses and the Government of India. The Union External Affairs Ministry, in fact, had confirmed that they know that China is building the second bridge on the Pangong Tso Lake very near to the place where the clashes took place between the two sides in May 2020. This second bridge will be much wider and will be much more robust as compared to the first one, and is mainly being done to allow the movement of armored vehicles between the north and the south banks of the Pangong Tso Lake, so that if there is a clash between the soldiers of the two sides, Chinese would have a better access to provide bigger backup for their troops here. Now, if you are familiar with this location, and I am very sure that you would have seen such a map and such a photo many times in the past couple of years, ever since the Galwan clashes took place. Now, if you actually see this, these are the 8 fingers that we had discussed multiple times. As per India, this is where the LAC begins. So, as per India, this is the area which is under the Chinese territory. Now, if you actually notice, this is the site of the bridge. That means that the bridge that is being built is within the Chinese territory. It is not like they are building this bridge within the Indian territory. However, the reason why we are concerned is that this area has been considered to be a neutral area. And the agreement between the two sides was that there would not be any construction of this kind in this particular area. This is why we are concerned. Also, over here, there is an old ruined fort called the Khurnak Fort. This is a fort where China has actually built a very solid defense base, and that is why China can afford to keep its personnel over here, and they can use this bridge to cross this Pangong Tso Lake because it will be a strong bridge. They can cross it through armored vehicles as well. As we saw on the photo, the bridge is about 20 kilometers from Finger 8, and Finger 8 is a point along with which, as per India, the line of actual control actually lies. The construction, as I said, is east to the old ruin called the Khurnak Fort, where China has a major defense base. That is where China usually has a lot of its military personnel stationed all throughout the year. This territory is occupied by China since 1958, so it's not that it is under our occupation right now. However, officially, India still considers this as a part of our own territory. That is why the Ministry of External Affairs at the Union level also said that we still consider this as an illegal occupation by China. I'm sure all of you would have read in detail about the Pangong Tso Lake. This is a 135-kilometer long lake, out of which only about one third part is in India. So about 45-kilometer length of this lake lies in India, while China has more than two-thirds of the lake in its own occupied territory. This bridge is near the halfway mark of this lake and thus lies in the territory which has been occupied by China. Now, if you look at Twitter, there are a lot of experts of defense who have been putting out these maps and photos explaining the significance of this particular bridge. If you can see, this is the bridge that is being built by China. The bridge is being built at a place where the north and the south banks are almost the closest, so the width of this lake is one of the narrowest at this particular place. This is being built so that the Chinese troops and their movement becomes much easier. This is also being done because after the clashes at the Galwan Valley, we saw that the Indian army took control of Rezingla and the Chinese troops were forced to take a much longer route in that particular territory. That is why Chinese want to make sure that they don't have a situation again in which the Indian forces have an upper hand and they can dominate the Chinese positions. Before this bridge, the Chinese troops had to move 150 kilometers from Pangong to the Rotang, around the lake and then vice versa for their movement. Now that a new road also is being constructed which will be connected to this bridge, it will now allow the troops of China to reach there within 100 kilometers, so cutting down the distance by about 50 kilometers, which can be very, very crucial for China in case there is another standoff between the two sides. As we said earlier, the main motto behind building this particular bridge is to allow much faster movement of the troops, mechanized forces, and heavy weapons. That is why, if it was just for the troops, it would have been a temporary kind of a bridge. But the satellite images suggest that this has been built by using state of the art machinery and it is very, very robust, which will be able to support mechanized forces and heavy weapons as well. The bridge, as I said earlier, by looking at the photo, is at one of the narrowest points of the lake, so that they don't have to build a much longer bridge. The construction started soon after the Galwan clashes took place in May 2020. Now, what has India been doing in response? Now, the Indian government also believes that our construction activities at the LAC have not slowed down. In fact, many experts say that the reason why China has been building these bridges is because they are afraid of the speed of Indian construction activities which are undertaken by the Border Road Organization. In the past few years, a lot of good quality roads have been built in the areas near the LAC, which has made it much easier for the Indian troops to station there in large numbers, which is what is concerning China right now. India officially has said that the site of the bridge is under illegal occupation of China, but we are still keeping a close eye on all these activities. Our former army chief, that is General M.M. Naravane, had said that we are in a much better position as compared to what we were a year and a half ago, meaning that we are keeping a close eye on whatever China is doing and making sure that our own construction efforts and our own infrastructure is also being built at a similar pace. In 2021 itself, over 100 projects were completed by the Border Road Organization in the border areas very, very close to China, which is seen as one of the reasons why China has also been trying to match India's project word by word and building their own bridges and roads, etc. So, this is a battle that is being fought off the battlefield and in the field of infrastructure by the two sides. This is all that you needed to know about China's second bridge at the Pangong Tso Lake. Thank you so much for watching the big news.